He married me for business. I made him fall in love. My hands trembled as I looked at it. Not a love letter. Not a proposal. A marriage contract. His cold eyes watched me like I was a transaction, not a woman. The son of a powerful CEO, calm, sharp and untouchable. He didn't even flinch when I whispered, "So this is all I am to you?" Silence. The pen in his hand clicked once. That sound echoed louder than my own heartbeat. I could have walked away. But walking away meant losing everything I'd fought for. So I signed. My name bled across the page, binding me to a man who didn't believe in love. Yet deep down a promise burned inside me. If he married me for business, I'd make him fall for me anyway. And I didn't know then, but that fight was only the beginning. Before the contract, I was just May 24, a quiet woman working in my father's small bookstore. Our shelves smelled of ink and dust, a world away from glass towers and corporate empires. Love to me was supposed to be a soft story, not a cold negotiation. But after my father's sudden illness, debts flooded in like waves. The creditors didn't care about sentiment. They wanted money and we had none. That's when he appeared. Liang, the heir to a powerful conglomerate. Immaculate suits, measured words, a man who carried entire boardrooms on his shoulders. He didn't offer sympathy. He offered a contract. A marriage that would merge our names and protect my family, while serving his business interests. I told myself it was only paper, that I could live in his shadow without wanting more. But every time I caught the faintest crack in his armor, a glance too long, a breath too shallow, I felt the truth pulling me deeper. Because what started as survival was quickly becoming something else I couldn't control. Our marriage looked perfect on paper. The mansion, the dinners, the carefully staged photographs for shareholders. But behind closed doors, silence. He worked late, ate alone, slept on the edge of the bed as if afraid to touch me. Every interaction was rehearsed, every word chosen like a contract clause. Still, cracks began to show. He lingered a second too long when I stumbled in heels. He turned his head when he thought I wouldn't notice my laughter in the library. And once, after a long day, he found me asleep on the couch and draped his jacket over me. I told myself not to read into it, yet my heart betrayed me, beating louder with every unspoken gesture. The world outside whispered too. His family sneered, calling me a burden, a pawn unworthy of his name. They reminded me every day that I was replaceable. I could endure their cruelty, but the real battle was with him. His walls, his pride, his refusal to admit he felt anything at all. And when another woman, his so-called true match, stepped into the picture, those walls only grew higher. But I wasn't going to give up. If love wasn't in his plan, then I would rewrite it myself. It happened at the annual gala. He stood beside me in his perfectly tailored suit, eyes cold, smile sharper than glass. Across the hall she appeared, the woman everyone said was his true match. Elegant, powerful, everything I supposedly wasn't. The whispers grew louder. I felt the eyes on me, pitying, mocking, waiting for me to crumble. And then the unthinkable. That woman leaned close, bold enough to whisper in his ear, loud enough for me to hear. "You'll leave her soon. You always meant to." My heart froze. But before I could even react, he did something I never expected. He pulled me into his arms. Not politely, not for show, but like a man claiming what was his in front of everyone. His voice carried across the hall, fierce and unshakable. "She is my wife. The only one. And I will never let her go." The room fell silent. Every sneer disappeared. And for the first time I saw it, his mask shattering, his truth breaking free. That night, when we were finally alone, he confessed the words I had waited so long to hear. That marrying me for business was the smartest deal he ever made. Because somewhere along the way he had fallen in love. But love, I soon realized, wasn't enough to silence the enemies circling us in the shadows. And one of them was about to strike where it hurt most. The attack came quietly. Contracts sabotaged, investors pulled out, his empire shaken. Everyone whispered that his downfall had begun. The same people who once bowed to him now turned their backs without hesitation. But I didn't. I stayed. Through the chaos, the sleepless nights, the storms of betrayal, I stood beside him. Because for once it wasn't about power or pride. It was about us. When his enemies tried to corner him, I revealed my own hidden strength. The small ventures I had quietly built while being mocked as a decorative wife had grown into something powerful. Enough to save him. Enough to make them all realize I was never just a pawn in his game. I became his partner. Not because he needed me, but because I chose him. And together we rebuilt. One night, under the quiet glow of the city lights, he slipped his hand into mine and whispered, "You turned my coldest contract into the greatest promise of my life." I smiled through tears, finally free of doubt. He may have married me for business, but in the end we both signed the only deal that truly mattered. The deal of forever.